So I'll be sharing my screen, and of course I'll be demonstrating few things. Since this session is on the topic of artificial intelligence and AI tools that are now being used in the world of PR, in the world of brand management, in the world of corporate communications. We are going to have, I won't say a deep dive, but definitely we will take a look at all the things that are happening currently in the industry per se. Obviously, the West has taken a leap. They have started using all of these tools for a long time now. Most of these tools were already available. It's just that AI has been integrated into these tools in the last couple of years or so. And we will have a look at these tools specifically for PR, brand management, brand communication, corporate communication. So before I jump into this, I would want to ask, which are the AI tools that you guys have used in the last couple of years, apart from ChatGPT? So apart from ChatGPT, which are the tools that you have used? Claude, Bing, Gemini. So I have Claude, I have Gemini, and Bing is a search engine, right, Harshal? Perplexity, okay. Anything else? Perplexity, Gemini, Claude. Note AI. Yes, Note AI. Gamma. So can Grok? Yeah. So you have used Grok is interesting. If I may ask, all the tools that you have already used, that's by Microsoft. So most of the tools that you have are primarily attached to either a search engine or a social professional networking site, right? So you have Copilot from Microsoft, you have from X, which was previously known as Twitter, you have Perplexity, you have Gemini. These are basically generative AI models that work on text. So similar to GPT, Gemini, and Perplexity are very similar. Even Copilot. There are some things that are helping in specifically about copywriting, right? So like correct, Notebook AI. Yes, that's another one. So most of them, what are doing is about generating text, making sense of some text, either making sense. Yes, Meta AI is available on WhatsApp. Again, what all these AI tools are doing, they are either generating text or generating photo. Am I correct? They are either generating text or generating photo primarily. Yes, no, agree, disagree. They are primarily generating either text or photos, right? So AI has obviously, yes, of course, videos, Ranjit, videos are also getting generated. So it's all about content. So whatever the AI is generating based on a prompt that I am giving it, it is generating content, whether text, whether photo or video, in the form of, the formats can change, but it's basically generating content.
The notebook.ai,
Yeah.
it is ghostly. So my team who negotiates, who works as a negotiator, basically. So they work on, I'm an energy professional, so part of my team, what they do is they design rates for electricity, for utility. So they have huge legal documents. So they download those documents and they look into the previous verdicts that has been given, and they try to assimilate the similar data points, and they try to bring in that, oh, okay, from this particular case we have this particular thing, so we can conclude that we can do this, those kind of. So it was very boring because people would just, like, you have to read it, and it is at times very you are distracted, and it takes a long time. So what they have done is they have converted it into a podcast, and the podcast between two people, and you won't believe, it is so scary. It has got like the real features, like, whenever we are talking, we are doing like the that kind of a thing. It has got all those pauses. So it is crazy how notebook.lm .ai, that is creating those podcasts by just pulling up all the information, aggregating it, and converting into a podcast between two people and providing you all the information. So it's very interactive, and you find it extremely fun to hear, because many a times reading can be boring, but when you're hearing, you're using your audio senses to absorb all the data, or all the information. So it is amazing.
Absolutely. So, but end of the day, it's creating. So it's again content.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's adding certain things. It's in nuances of how humans usually speak in a conversation. So they will say, yeah, okay. So those are the expressions that they will add into the podcast. But that is how AI is able to adapt and learn. Uh, what I'm trying to say over here is that AI has evolved so much from just creating different forms of content, contextualizing it, processing data. Specifically, when I talk about in public relations and in brand management, brand reputation management, all that kind of field, it has gone far beyond that. And that is what we will quickly see. So I'll share my screen now. Uh, can I share my screen?
Share screen. You are host now.
Okay. Uh, okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, so quickly, before we move to this, we are going to talk about a bit to understand this session better. It's the how PR has evolved, and how AI is actually assisting in this entire evolution of PR. So when we talk about public relations in a very traditional way, what it used to happen, 10 years back, if I to happen, and what how people used to do this. So primarily, me, PR professionals used to have a compiled list of journalists used to maintain that, but most of them they used to become static. I still remember a couple. I mean, this was, I think, sometime around 2022. I would say 3 years back. I used to still receive emails from PR professionals, and they used to address me as Anjan. That was fine because, of course, my name doesn't change. But they used to address me as Anjan and deputy editor of Reuters.com, which is a job, 10 years back, but they used to still uh, give releases, and they used to still address me as Anjan Chakraborty, deputy editor at Reuters.com. I can say, hello, I do not work with Reuters.com anymore. Please update your list. New is this. And I do not know how many such emails I have written in the last 10 years, but many of them. So there is a static list. So from them that PR professionals had compiled, and it them to update those lists on a real-time basis. But that is how media lists were maintained. Second, press release, press notes, the communication that was sent to journalists is practically via emails, fax messages, and they were more focused on perfecting the press release for the top influential outlets, media outlets. They were trying to make the wordings look perfect. So it's all about backgrounders, notes, and press releases. And then it was about a limited feedback loop, so nobody really bothered about the press release that they have written and they have handed it out. And when they see the coverage of that in television or on print or on magazine, how much of that information has actually been taken for print, because there was a very minimum real time feedback, and monitoring primarily relied on reading up newspapers or some agencies who used to just do the clippings. Some, I know, large companies even have clipping agencies. They just send those clippings back to the management, and this is what you have got. But how the company actually wanted a particular coverage to go, and how it eventually happened, there was limited feedback loop between the PR professionals and the journalists who are eventually putting it out. So that was primarily the traditional PR approach. Now, what is happening now in today's world? So now it is completely changed. Now, completely AI powered. It is what we call real time. So AI is now scanning thousands of news, social media platforms in real time. I'm talking about real time. Kind of brand mentions, any kind of keywords that are attached to the mention. They are also looking at brand mentions of their competitors. They are looking at the keywords that are being attached to those brand mentions of their competitors. So they are now doing real time media monitoring across the digital world. And this is completely driven by machine. This is not done by humans. There are softwares being built who are actually doing it. And this is basically people who are sitting in PR, people who are sitting in brand management, people marketing department. They are constantly looking at this real time media monitor. So this is number one. Number two, sentiment analysis. So it's not just about, it's also about understanding the sentiment that is behind that brand mention. Whether it's a positive sentiment in which a brand is being mentioned, whether it's negative or whether it's neutral. And even this sentiment analysis is done real time basis, and people are actually started to respond, not just do the real time monitoring and sentiment analysis, but actually they are able to respond. They are now, the PR, the marketing, the brand teams, the social teams are actually responding basis the output they are getting from the real time media monitoring as well as sentiment analysis that they are doing. Third is another big one, which is a big thing that happens in PR, corporate communication, and even brand management, which is crisis detection. Any kind of crisis detection and how to proactively manage that. Now that is also happening via tools that are now AI driven. So there are tools like Brand 24 and Talkwalker, which actually detect negative sentiment spike. They suddenly detect a negative sentiment spike about a particular brand online. They send an alert out, and quickly, the team in corporate communication or in public relation or in the brand team, they can quickly look at it and start any kind of mitigation that is required before it becomes a full-fledged crisis for the company, whether it's a brand crisis or a communication crisis or a management crisis. So that is also happening now using AI assisted tools, and of course data driven. So now a lot of the insights that goes into a press release, backgrounders and notes, they are now much more data driven, and all of this is from the insights that is gathered by these tools through monitoring, sentiment analysis, and all of that goes into a tool that is able to find out where are the problems, what is the lacking, and accordingly how can we guide the PR strategy for the company, for the management, or a particular person in management for the future. Now all of this is now happening within modern PR, and it is time happening, done by machines which are powered by artificial intelligence. Now this is where the evolution of modern PR currently is. Now artificial intelligence really assist modern PR? If you can just sum up the three things to do for PR professionals. Number one is speed. So instant alerts for brand mentions across various platforms. For example, it can flag a viral before a crisis escalates about a particular brand. This can actually post about a brand which is done in a negative sentiment, and it can impact reputation, is started to go viral. So it's time to take a mitigation step. So that alert is now driven by technology. You get at which you can learn that a negative sentiment about your brand developing in the digital media space. So you quickly realize that, and you are able to start a mitigation plan for that. So that is speed. So one thing that has happened is speed. Second, scale. So AI can scan millions of data points across geography, language, which is impossible for not just a single human being, but it's impossible for even a large team of people to do it, because it's real time. Most of the data is real time. So scanning all of that data in real time across various channels is practically impossible for humans to do. So that is also completely done using AI. The scale at which AI can assist for large corporations, for large brands. Think of a brand like, a Tata Motors. Think of a brand like, say, an ITC, a brand like Reliance. So how much are people discussing about a specific product or service of this brand on a daily basis? Scanning all of that, understanding the sentiment of that, and trying to mitigate any kind of crisis. To do that, first you need to scan that data, that entire set of data. So that is what AI is currently doing. Third, the sentiment. Now it is very easy to just find mentions, but now AI is able to categorize, whether people are talking positively about you, they are talking negatively about you, or does the positive and the negative sentiments cancel out and you have a very neutral standpoint. So every company, every brand wants to create that positive sentiment amongst the consumers, right? So everybody wants to see more and more positive impressions coming in. And they would also like to detect that any kind of nuances are. so that they understand and adapt how their messaging later on. Whether it's a messaging on social media, whether it's a messaging that CEO gives when he or she does the next press conference. So they need to know that what are the things that the specific words are they using, some new term, and how we adapt to the messaging of a company that happens later on in the future. So that is done through analysis. What artificial intelligence is doing for the PR teams, for the corpcom teams, for the big brands across the world. So these are the three specific domains where artificial intelligence is assisting modern PR. So I'll just mention the six very, very specific use cases. One is the real-time monitoring of media. Second, of course, you trigger of a particular brand across. So brand mentioned alerts are set up. Sentiment analysis is price detection. Any kind of content on websites, news sites, blogs, social media platforms, videos, anywhere is going viral that has a mention of your company, and it is in a negative sentiment. It is slowly going viral. It is the crisis, early crisis detection is also happening. So that is also what we call a early warning system. Like we have weather warning of whether it's going to be hot, rainy, or cold tomorrow. Now AI systems are actually flagging certain kinds of brand mentions that can potentially go viral and cause harm. So you start, the team starts mitigating those before it goes viral. They start to create some positive stories behind it, so that the crisis doesn't go beyond a particular scale. Then, of course, journalist discovery, influencer discovery. That is something that modern PR does. And this entire journalist discovery, influencer discovery is also done today using a lot of AI tools, not traditionally keeping check of which journalist works in which company and in what designation. And of course, press release, creation of those press releases, backgrounders, notes, that is being done today using a lot of generative AI tools, Chat GPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, and all of that. So that is also being used today. But that is a much smaller chunk of, I would say, work that is actually assisting the world of PR when I look at the very used cases of artificial intelligence. Now, quickly, we will discover these tools. So, when it comes to media monitoring, so the first of use case for artificial intelligence is media monitoring. It's basically tracking real-time brand mentions across news is being mentioned on news websites, mentioned on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on Twitter. How about your brand? So there's two specific tools. Have you heard of these tools? Mention. Has anybody heard of Mention or Brand 24? Anyone? Yes, no. Have you heard of Mention and Brand 24?
Not really.
My screen is visible. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
you're with.
So what you're looking at right now is the dashboard of Mention. This is what the dashboard all looks like. So there are keyword settings. There are primary, secondary keywords. What we can do over here is which is in most cases is related to the brand, and put in certain keywords that you want to monitor alongside the brand. So let's say it's Tata Motors, right? So that's a brand. So the moment I just did Tata Motors and I did enter. Now what this tool is telling us, now look at this in top right. This is an estimate of how many mentions, this brand mentions, are happening in a 30-day period based on historical data. You know, this is 14,745 mentions are happening. And this includes what? News, videos, web, blogs, forums, Reddit are included. So this includes news, videos, web, blog, forum, Reddit. And you will see the mention of Tata Motors in a particular article in alliedmarketresearch.com. You will find a Facebook post, a photo post in Facebook, and you will find all of this being given here. Now, I want to track certain words uh, about Tata Motors that I would really want to check first, right? So I'm checking now Tata Motors and BAD, BAD. Is there a mention of this word alongside my brand anywhere? So I'm finding yes, there is. There are still 171 mentions in a month. I can add more keywords. Can anyone give me another keyword that you want alongside the brand name Tata Motors?
Leading auto companies.
That you are describing Tata Motors.
Okay.
I don't want to describe
Best
Tata.
auto brands.
Best. So best is a word.
Best
Best
auto brands.
auto brand. So now what it's going to do is it's going to track all three, right? So it is going to track mention of the brand where you have Tata Motors, best auto brands. Now it is very, very rare that you will find the character. But if you cross this one and it's just auto, now you'll find three mentions. So it is very important which are the specific words you are looking to scan alongside your brand. And this is a tool that helps you to scan those things. You can add secondary keywords. You want to exclude certain words, you can exclude certain words. And you can create it. Once I go to create, it creates an alert in the system. And whenever there is a new mention of this specific set of primary, secondary, and excluded keywords, it will trigger an alert. So this is what mention does. You can track real time or you can set up alerts. When I create it, an alert will be created and it will be sent to a specific email ID whenever a new mention of the brand happens where primary, secondary, and excluded keywords criterias are met. Does that make sense? How do you think that happens? This is completely done using artificial intelligence. I mean, it is of great help to PR and corpcom people. They are tracking not just their own brand, they are tracking even their competitors about these mentions. They are tracking which are the words being mentioned against their brand and which are the words being mentioned against their competitors. So this tool mentioned is probably the number one media monitoring tool which is used in the world of modern PR and corporate communications. Make sense? Do you think this tool is helpful for brands, for PR people, for corporate communication? Yes, no?
Yeah, I definitely feel it is very important for uh, the communication team or the PR team. They will be able to monitor things in fraction of seconds. So it's extremely helpful for them.
So it's not even when people are, the tool is sending alerts, and you can wake up in the morning and see something has gone wrong, and you can quickly jump to a mitigation plan. So it's like that. Yes, you can detect all kinds of comments, positive, negative. So it's a selection of keywords. That is where the human skill is in. So which are the words that you do not want people to mention against your brand. So people will put those also. The choicest of galis, put those and keywords, because it's very high propensity of people when they are completely irritated with a product or a service of a brand, they will go take to social media and blast it, right? And when they blast it, they will use choicest of words in English, Hindi, or whatever. Those are also used as keywords to detect, what kind of negative alerts the system is detecting. Yes, Harsha.
Yeah, sir. I have like a few questions. One is, I mean, we have come to know through using different AI tools that AI has a tendency to hallucinate, right? Make up information that comes up. So does do these tools also show similar challenges while we are you know asking them to use keywords, or
See, it is
are there any such challenges with these tools? That's what I'm
I
asking.
think everyone would agree and everyone knows AI in its current form is far, far, far from being perfect, right? I think we all agree to that. It is far, far, far from being perfect. It is
Yeah.
very, very, very prone to make mistakes. It makes very, very common mistakes. Generative AI does, I mean, we are all used generative AI like
Yeah.
ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. We see how many mistakes they are committing, factual mistakes to a lot of historical mistakes. They keep repeating them. So it's obviously not 100% foolproof. But when you're using these tools, these tools are meant for very specific purpose. These
So
are
it's basically, for example, I've used this small SEO tools, or SEMrush for SEO, like keyword detection. It
correct.
seems similar to that, I
It is
guess.
similar to that. It is definitely, and it is doing a very specific purpose. It is just scanning the entire web. It is scanning entire social media, and it is giving you real time data about your brand against that you have put it. You are
Hmm.
choosing the words that you want your brand to not to be associated with. You put both,
Hmm.
create alerts,
Hmm.
and you know what
Hmm.
is going on about your brand. That
Hmm.
helps me as a PR professional or any com professional to understand what is the chatter going on about brand in media.
Hmm.
So you understand, earlier it was very difficult for professionals to have an understanding of the entire perception of your brand in media.
Hmm.
What is the entire perception of my brand in media?
Hmm.
It was through newspapers, television channels, traditional media, but what are people talking about in real time? Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, what have they uploaded? Even this particular tool is even videos. So it's not just photo and text; it is even scanning videos. So it gives a clear, sense of whether my brand have a, a positive kind of a sentiment within distributing my content, distribute, or I'm talking about my brand, or whether it is a negative kind of a feeling. So a PR professional can have a very, very clear idea. It can not just that, it can flag you about a specific Facebook post, about a specific X handle post, about a specific news article published in some media outlet which is in negative sentiment, and the corpcom team, PR team, can then get in touch with that specific post in Facebook or X, or that particular news company, and begin a conversation about what has prompted them to do this. I mean, or is there some way they can recall the story, some way they can do a rejoinder if it is wrong completely, or based on not based on facts. So it also prompts them to start a crisis management. So that is why this tool is helpful. I'm not saying that it is 100% perfect. It is not. AI is far, far from being 100% perfect in its current state.
So basically, for getting a proper overview of the trends,
Yes.
this is a really good and very helpful tool in order
Yes.
to understand what brand image is
Correct.
among the public
Correct.
about a particular.
Correct. Correct. So this is one. Uh, then there is my okay. So the other tool I mentioned, Brand 24, right? So this is another tool, that's Brand 24, again used for media monitoring. Now I'll again type target.
Sorry to interrupt, sir, but just a quick question. So these tools are available for free use or they are paid? What is
They
that?
have a
There are
free.
plans, like certain
There are of course
facilities for.
plans. There are plans. They use the tool for free for a certain period of time. Maybe some will allow you for, I think, 2 weeks. Some will allow you for 7 days. Some will allow for a month, and then you'll have to move for a subscription. Uh, so usually these tools are, I mean, it's not free access. It's a certain period of free access. You can check them out yourself. So okay, to back to Brand 24, Tata Motors. Uh, I had what? Best auto. Click on next. So we will collect mentions only in the languages. So you can choose language or you can choose all, and you create a project. So what Brand 24 will do is, of course, they will match the two words that are mentioned, and they will try to look for results they find across the entire digital world, right? So this is last 30 days. So this is mentions. These are the mentions on each day, and reach, how many times it was mentioned and what was the total reach. So it gives you that of Tata Motors, right? And it gives you where it was mentioned. So you'll see a YouTube, right? Uh, Reddit, YouTube, Economic Times, YouTube, Live Mint, again YouTube, Quora. Times of India, lots of YouTube, News 18, India Today, YouTube. So it gives you exactly the specific channels, the specific video, and the specific link where you will find these brand mentions. What it will also give you here is where they have found these brand mentions in the last 30 days. Blogs 454, podcasts 14, videos 2352, X, which is Twitter, 1000, TikTok, news, other socials, web. It will also give you Facebook and Instagram once I connect my Facebook account here. So once I connect my Facebook and my Instagram, it will also give me the mention of Tata Motors on Facebook and Instagram, right? This particular tool does, Brand 24, is not just mentions and reach. This, you know, you click on sentiment and it is of the sentiment, positive, negative, or zero. So it is giving you, it's neutral. There has been neutral. When you look at mention and reach again, uh, over a period of a week or days, it will show you. So there are different periods, and it can also generate reports basic location. You want to exclude countries from where you don't want reports, you can exclude it. You don't want in a specific language, you don't want report from a specific author. So you can even filter down these mentions across various filters. You're looking for only positive, you're looking for only positive ones. So there are no positive. You are looking for negative mentions were found. Neutral. So the sentiment that is there for this particular period is always, so they could not, the machine is not able to understand if it's in a positive note or negative note or a neutral note. If you do for a different brand, the results can be different. So it will give out insights, analysis, comparisons, sources, lot of things it's going to give you. So this is Brand 24 that not only gives brand mentions, but also gives a sentiment score attached to that. Make sense? Brand 24. Of course, in a free plan, in any kind of free package, you get limitations. So this is, of course, limited to certain things. But this is also, I mean, large corporations, enterprises, businesses, they use this tool as well. This is also one of the tools that is becoming very, very popular for specifically for media monitoring, as well as sometimes used for sentiment. But the sentiment is not very clear. You see, on Sunday there were two positive, on 10th Tuesday there was one negative, then Saturday 14 June there were again two positives. So it will give you this kind of sentiments, and you can see which one they are flagging as positive, which one they are flagging as negative. All details is provided. So this is another tool, Brand 4. Going back to my slideshow. So
Is that app free, or is there a charge associated with it?
yeah, both are priced. I mean, of course, I will be giving you a full list. You can So of course there are pricing. There are pricing basis different filters for small business, for enterprise level, for growing different pricing models. Both Mention and Brand 24, and large corporations, they obviously take the paid versions of these tools they are using.
Sir, media monitoring and social listening both are same.
Yeah, because when in media, it's not just about the news articles, it's also about how people are mentioning your brand on. People often mention about brands on social media, Facebook and X, especially also mention on YouTube. They are doing both across the web, blog sites, and all the social media they are scanning real time. Okay. Next, of course,
Sir, I have
sentiment.
a question
Yeah.
regarding the tools that you have mentioned. So you have mentioned two tools. So I have used water long back. So what's
Melt water.
yes, sir. So what? Just would like to know your experience if you have used that tool.
Sorry.
Uh, just would like to know your experience if you have used Meltwater software tool.
Melt water. I haven't used melt water.
Okay.
I haven't used melt water myself. Yes. So what was your experience?
So I believe that I have used Brand 24 and Meltwater and
Hmm.
Brand Watch as well. But I find Meltwater has more, options, key features if we compare it with others. So just would like to know your opinion on that, so that
I
we can.
haven't used meltwater myself, so I don't have a comparison. But since you say that you have used it and you will get more, I so when it comes to Mention and Brand 24, I think they are at a starting level. So starting level is media monitoring. Then you go deep.
Right.
Uh, Starting level Mention and Brand 24 is okay. If you want to really go deep, then of course Meltwater, even a Talk Walker, they will be deeper.
Right.
So because they do much more than just monitoring. You Since you have said that you used Meltwater, you know that they do much more than that, right?
That is expensive as well.
Of course, it's everything that is of value is expensive. So of
Yes.
course,
If
I
we do the
mean,
price comparison, then of course Meltwater is the expensive one out of these.
yes, of
And
course.
I
So
guess that since participants were asking about the free tools, so I guess Google Alerts is a good tool for individuals and freelancers and basic use for
yes,
research.
but but in today's world, Google Alert is not. I would
Credible
say
enough?
it's sorry.
Credible enough? Or
Yeah, it is. It is not very. Uh, how do I put it? So I don't think it is of everything that's out there. I think
right.
it has a limited uh,
Limitations are there,
it
right?
is going to scan because Google Alerts cannot scan. I don't fully Facebook and YouTube, for example. YouTube, it might be able to completely do it, but Facebook or X, I'm not sure. It will not probably. Facebook and X are different companies, and they usually don't share their APIs with Google. So
There's
the
no
direct,
sentiment data, no social media tracking.
yeah, so there is no sharing of what we call API, which allow these tools to integrate across so many channels. Are not able to scan so many channels where your brand can be mentioned. So that is one I would say drawback of Google Alerts. But starting point, yes,
For freelancers, for startups.
yes, starting point, yes.
Right.
So, yeah, Talk Walker, Meltwater, brand mentions, they go beyond just, media monitoring and brand mention. They are able to do, I don't know if I have it. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen? So this is Talk Walker, and this is by Hootsuite, of course. And they do a lot more. I mean, they are not just doing media monitoring, social listening, social benchmarking. Also, they are doing. So it is not. It is also comparing the performance of a brand against a competition that you are facing in the market, and it is built. It is not just where your brand is mentioned, but it's also how influential is that particular site where your brand is being mentioned. So, for example, I mean, it will give you such kind of analysis that whether your brand has been mentioned in New York Times or the Times of India, and what is the sentiment analysis of the consumer when they read about your company in New York Times versus when they read about your company in Times of India. What kind of impact it's going to have on the consumer? It's going to have a different impact. So I mean, it's like saying, if a negative story comes out about my brand, but it comes out in a very small regional news outlet, versus a negative story about my brand comes out in a Times of India, India Today, Indian Express, then it's a bigger crisis. Would you agree that where is my brand being mentioned in which of the news sites? They are to do a influential site analysis. Where is it being? So it help you as a PR or a brand manager, or a corpcom person to okay, how big is the crisis or how small is the crisis? Is it a crisis at all, or how best something can be, if the news website is done in a very positive manner, it can turn lot of corners for the business or the brand. So a positive story in a New York Times, a positive in a Times will have a much bigger impact than a positive story in, say, the Statesman newspaper. And vice versa, a negative story in the Statesman newspaper might not have too much impact, but a negative in the Hindu or the Indian Express or Times of India can have a huge impact. So you have basis influential site analysis of a story. So all of that in so and some of the very, of course, top brands uh, work with Talk Walker, and similarly, the similar kind of brand is which uh, was mentioned is Meltwater. So it's India's media intelligence tool. I mean, it's called a media intelligence solution tool, and it is similar to what uh, Talkwalker does. And of course, it does a lot more than just media monitoring. So it does very accurate sentiment analysis, reporting, alerts, even it does image recognition and analytics. So it's very, very sophisticated AI powered tool, and it goes into much more detail than just what a brand 24 or a mention would do. But of course, it's paid and it comes at a price. But of course, big brands, they use these kind of tools to effectively look at their how their brand is doing in the world of media. So that's Meltwater for you. Brand mention is similar again. So all of these will give you a free trial, 7 days, and then the pricing starts. Similar kind of tools. Uh, so social mentions, hashtag tracker, brand tracker, social tracker, complete web and social listening. It will do, uh, and it will track everything, alerts. All of that is done. competitor analysis. They call it competitor spying. Email alerts, new information. So all of that. It's a very, very deep down tool. Brand mention, meltwater, and talk worker. All three. So coming back to the sentiment analysis and then journal. So how do you maintain, continuously update your, how do you identify relevant journalists, segment them, and even personalize your communication with them? All is also today happening using AI tools. So anybody has used any of these two, Prowly or Muckrack?
Muckrack I've used actually to get articles of journalists and read stories of those code. I've used Muckrack.
Yeah. So
Yes, same.
uh,
Muckrack I too have used for
yeah.
checking out the profile of journalists in order to
So
pitch them stories.
it's helpful.
So up to a point, because one has to also check LinkedIn after that to ascertain if it's relevant.
Still relevant. Prowly is the basic level tool. Muckrack is, I would say, what Prowly is able to do is primarily it has a database of, and what Muckrack does is not just journalists, it also has a database of influencers, right? So yeah, for all PR professionals, brand people who are trying to get out a story, trying to collaborate with an influencer, Muckrack is usually the tool of choice instead of just Prowly. So this is Prowly, uh, where again nothing is free. So 7 days trial, and then you have to pay up for this. And top companies use it, from LG to UNICEF to Dentsu to Johnson and Johnson. So they have a media database, they have media monitoring, they have even a CRM for PR. Uh, so this is the database that they have, and you can check it out about how, what kind of database they have, and what are the things that you can do with this. But a lot of people use Prowly to scan a list of journalists, which they claim that it's pretty updated. So that's Prowly, and then of course there is Muckrack. So this is Muckrack. Muckrack is, even journalists use Muckrack, not just PR brand people and marketing people. Even journalists use Muckrack. Is more popular, of course. You can see New York Times, BBC, Google, Pfizer, UNICEF, Visa, Pepsi. Everybody is using Muckrack, and it's a very, very good platform for PR professionals and journalists. Uh, uh, so what you can do over here is, meet the brand. You will be able to track a lot of things together in one place, uh, and it's they are doing a lot of stuff with AI these days. Uh, so it's not just about journalists, but uh, you can also get uh, PR soft, press release, pitching releases, and of course, social media monitoring, social listening is already built in inside Muckrack. So it's like every solution in one. Everything comes together inside Muckrack, and I would say, uh, uh, again, as I said to our earlier question, it's not going to be 100%, but these are definitely some of the tools that are being people in PR Corpcom in today's world. So, from Muckrack or journalist collaboration, influencer collaboration, and also a lot more. Muckrack, you can do a lot more things. Crisis management, risk detection. Again, you have with Brand 24, you can set up keywords like scam, protest, boycott kind of keywords to track and send alerts to, if a negative negative mention is going up. And there is another particular tool available is Signal AI. Now, Signal is, have anyone of you used Signal AI? So Signal AI is bit more than just that. It is, what it does is goes beyond just media monitoring and sentiment analysis. It is, of course, an enterprise level solution. So of course you will have to buy it. So what is able to do is it is able to look at the kind of communication or conversation that is happening about a brand, and it will categorize it in, what kind of conversation is happening about a brand, and whether that communication can become a legal risk for me. It become an HR risk? Can it lead to a consumer or NGO activism? Can it lead to any kind of political unrest? Can it lead to any kind of shareholder activism? It can even categorize it across specific, metrics that a PR and a brand team is very, very afraid of. They do not want to go into that. So that is the level of I would say sentiment analysis and risk assessment that this is able to do related to your brand mention, whether on social or on news. Will be the fallout of something bad in media, whether the fallout is just going to, or is it going to be a legal risk? Can it lead to shareholder problems, political problems? It will even be able to categorize that. So this is the level where it is able to go. So it's not about just sentiment analysis, it's about going much deeper. So, and that is the reason, some of the, as you can see, companies, they use this particular tool, from Exxon Mobil to Volvo, the top companies of the world, they use, because they really want to get ahead of time. They really want to get ahead of the curve. And if there is a potential risk factor associated with particular dimension, so even, companies like Google, Uber, Deloitte, they are very, very wary of those things. So how do I turn, so it's enterprise risk, reputation, PR comms risks, regulation risks. This tool can identify those threats, you know categorize brand mention across such kind of filters. It proactively identifies. So this is the very, very modern level of how PR, brand management, and corporate communication teams are working. So that's the last tool that I wanted to show you. And I have basically created a list and I'll give it out to you. So this is basically a reference sheet of some of the starting level as well as the top level AI tools that are being used specifically in PR, corporate communication, brand teams across some of the top companies in the world right now. So what are the functions, what the name of the tool, and also the link to the tool. So this is I'll be sending this across later, so you can have a copy of this entire thing. Which one is doing what and how? The link is also there, so you can have a quick look yourself. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yes, questions, if any.
Hello, Anjan,
Yes,
can
yes,
you hear me?
yes,
Yes,
Rajneesh.
yes, Rajneesh.
Yeah, I think we are meeting after a long, long time, after 1.5 year.
Uh,
Last time you were there in the workshop in August, September 23.
oh,
I
yes,
still
yes,
remember.
yes, yes, yes.
So that was a great platform.
Yeah. How are
Glad
you?
to reconnect with you.
Oh, thank you. Glad.
Acha, I want to talk about that. I have recently joined some university
Okay.
and I am handling some social media part of the government university in Ahmedabad in Gujarat.
Okay.
So can you guide me that since it is a government university, how can I handle the PR and the social media part using the AI? You got it?
Well, brand.
What exactly?
You.
Could you
Sorry,
go?
your voice. You're saying
Hello? Did you get?
your universe.
Hello? Did you get me?
Your voice was. I think your voice dropped in between, and I missed
Uh,
few words.
I am telling you that can you suggest me some strategy, some PR strategy or AI strategy for handling the PR and social media for the university or for the organization I am working for through AI?
AI,
You got it?
though, I showed you the tools industry people are using. All
No,
the
no, but
tools I showed
industry
you,
is
eight
different
of them.
from academics. Anjan, you have to understand that
Different from
thing.
academics, but it's still people are mentioning about the university name, right? When what you're doing PR for, what you're doing PR for your university, and you are doing PR for your particular department.
No, no, university.
So university. So that means your university name is what people will be talking about.
Exactly.
So
Like
you
I am
can.
working in one university that is Baba Sahib Ambedkar Open University. It's an
Correct.
open university like IGNO.
So for you, this
Yeah,
the name of the university is your brand.
yeah.
So the reputation of the brand is what you have to ensure that is always intact.
Okay.
Correct. So first, again, the system remains the same. What I showed you about Tata Motors, Pepsi, or others, for you, it's the name of your university. So what are people talking about in social media about your university? What are people talking about in whether there are news articles related to your university? Because wherever they will mention either the full name or your university might have a short name. They will be mentioning those names. So first thing is to
Yeah.
understand what is the how much of information conversation is happening about your university across different channels,
Okay.
social media channels.
They are actually they still go by print media only and only Facebook and Twitter.
So
That's it.
Facebook and Twitter you will be able to track. Print media you can track if the print story has also been uploaded on the web version. If it is only
I have
restricted
been
to.
asked to write stories. Like whatever the press release goes,
Huh.
like tomorrow is a yoga day, so I have to write some
That is
event.
fine. That is fine. That is though a part of the to have with the media people highlighting the different activities of the university. So
Mhm.
that you are writing a press release, sending it out. That is one part.
Yeah,
What is
yeah. So
what
how can I
other
enhance the
part?
brand
Any other question, Rajneesh?
perception?
That's enough now. Don't indulge into conversations. Any other question?
की कह रहे हो sir?
Any other question now?
I'm asking him
You
that
are
how can I
discussing it. You are not asking questions. You are discussing your problems. Be
Sir, I'm not able
precise.
to hear.
Be precise in your question, and you will get a precise answer. Any other
Right, right.
question?
My question is that how can I enhance the brand perception of my university? That's what. Hello,
Sorry,
Anjan sir. Did you hear me?
you want to know about?
I'm asking you that how can I enhance the brand building or brand perception of my university? Enhance.
By spreading positive news.
Okay.
There is no by spreading positive news across print, digital, TV. That's the only way to enhance the brand. That people
Okay.
would want a university to do
So positive across the formats, be it
across all
digital, be it
formats,
print.
all mediums, everywhere.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, any other question? Anjan, I think you have been so clear that there are no doubts in the minds of the participants.
Even
I don't
the
know.
even
No,
in
it
the
was wonderful session. It was wonderful.
previous courses also, like Anjan sir's sessions were really well, very clear in what they were talking about. So yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Thank
So
you,
it's
Harsh.
interesting how, like different formats of media communication, PR, they're using such different uh, technological tools like the tree map, which you were showing a couple of minutes back. It was very interesting how they're, like first time I realized the sentimental analysis when PM Modi was, he was giving his speech from the Red Fort, and he was telling about the toilets, which went viral, and I think it was News 18 or some media channel who was doing how many times he has used India, how many times he has used those words, toilets. So that was coming from like technology background, and like how the words you're playing, and how it is making psychological sense to people, or reinforcing those words several times to create that impact. So that is very interesting. And now the fun part is like now we have tools which can measure and give you precise analysis. So that is really interesting to see that
And just to
technology.
add, Shalini,
It's a blend.
we mentioned Narendra Modi. So whenever I talk about brand mention, uh, I think there's a common perception that I'm always talking about a company or an organization. When I'm talking about brand mentions, the word brand today is also associated with people.
Yes, yes.
A cricketer, a Virat Kohli is a brand.
Mhm.
A Shah Rukh Khan is a brand. So the
Mhm.
PR team that works for Virat Kohli, the PR team, and all the celebrities, whether they are in Bollywood, in the film industry, in the sports, even in politics, they have PR
Mhm.
teams. So all the chief
Mhm.
ministers, the prime ministers, the cabinet ministers across the have PR teams. So they are also tracking brand mentions. The only difference is the name of the minister. The brand is the
Mhm.
name of the cricketer or the name of the,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so even
Yeah.
that
So
happens.
what I'm trying to say is like 10 years before in 2015, when he was, like standing and giving that speech. So, I mean, I'm just trying to say like how far we have come within like those 10 years. Previously, this technology was used by like big, like big companies or people. So now it is like, it is something which is available for even commoners, anyone can go ahead and use it, and it is so informative. It reduces the time. You can come with more information, more precise information, and something which like it's a measurable component. That is what I'm trying to say, because whenever you say less more, people find it difficult. But when you give a number, 80%, 70%, that reflects how much reach it has. So it just gives you a clarity in perspective and in presenting your case that okay, this is how it is reaching, or this much how it is reaching. So it's just interesting to see how media, PR, and technology is merging, and
Yes,
it's a fantastic blend.
it's incredible. I think I don't know if you may remember. I think it was during the President Donald Trump's inauguration in January. I think one of the U.S. Media outlets, what they did was during President his inauguration in January, the speech that Donald Trump gave, the real time as he was giving the speech on television, they were tracking the words that Donald Trump is mentioning vis-a-vis the words he mentioned during his entire presidential campaign,
Okay.
vis-a-vis the words he mentioned during the inauguration of Donald Trump during his last presidency. So
Okay.
it's like how the from his last presidency to his new presidency, and in between the campaign, how the president of so-called the modern world, how the words have changed, or
Mhm.
percentage of that, how many times he is calling America great in
Mhm.
that year, times he called America great now, real
Mhm.
time in
Yeah.
graphs. It is staggering. Not that is all about real time media monitoring, nothing else.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Thank you.
Well, any other questions? We'll conclude otherwise.
Yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock and I'm still in office. So I have to rush home
Okay,
now.
okay.
So there are no questions lined up in the chat books.
Yes.
Thank you, Yashika.
Thanks a lot, Anjan. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much, Anjan sir.
You are, I
Thank you.
think,
Thank
one of the very few
Thank
persons
you.
that I know who are so updated
Thank you very much, Subhash
in
sir.
this
Thank
age
you.
of great change.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.